How long do you usually let a video run before you decide it's not getting enough attention and you make a new video?
It really just depends on, every situation is a little bit different. Just because if you're someone who has like a lower budget, it'll take a little bit more time to see if it's working or not. If you're someone who has like a bigger budget, like you get results and data much faster. Um, so it really depends on that. But I would probably say like at least a week or two, just because there's a lot of variables at the end. One of the things that we do look though as a metric is seeing, something called CTR and CTR all, which I'm going a little bit more, in detail on, what we do on the back end, but click-through rate and click-through rate all is, how many times someone's click on a link on your ad. If I see that that is less than 1%, that means that the video is not, very, very good. That's for me a threshold of an indicator seeing, hey, this might be good, this might not be good. If the CTR all is over 3% and the CTR is just over 1%, then most likely people are clicking on the ad, so it must be getting, the attention. So those are just little metrics that I look at. If, cost per lead would always be, cost per acquisition, cost per lead would always be number one. But if I'm running something new, if I'm seeing that I'm not getting much results, then I take a look at that. Just because even me, whenever I'm doing ads for Canine conversions, not all of them are going to hit. And I will, try to, give it a few opportunities to see if it'll hit. But then I look at the metrics in the front and I'm seeing, okay, I'm getting less than this, I'm getting less than that. Maybe it's not as good as I, thought. And then I just kind of move on to another one. So that's kind of like, w what I do behind the scenes when it comes to that. But the more videos we have, the better. Like I've always, I've always said this, like if we have more than just, one, then we have option. We're not necessarily relying the performance of a campaign on just one specific, video. Um, so that's why for me, I'm a strong believer, like, hey, if you can give us, at least two, that we can determine which of those two are the winners and just really focus on that versus just having one and really relying on that one to do, good. So that's why for us, I'm a huge believer. Like the more videos you have, like even too, because I understand 1,000%. Like it's not easy doing videos. It's especially if you're, if you're like me and I used to be, very shy. So making in front of a video, selfie mode in front of a crowd, it just seemed like I had to wait till everyone was gone, kind of thing. But now it's just, it got to a point with practice where I can be in Japan, full surrounded by a bunch of people, and me comfortably just pick up my phone on selfie mode and just create an ad on the first try. Now, did I get to that point? Like, absolutely not. It just took practice and just, consistency to get to that point, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And another question I had was, so if people are calling and they don't really have money, should we try to get them sold on the PayPal credit or the Pharma or whatever that's called?
Yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. I'm also like, if you guys aren't using Klarna, PayPal Credit, Affirm, like I would strongly recommend start using some sort of, financing option like that. Josh Avila, I know he uses, I believe it is Klarna a lot. So the reason why he's able to have this high, months, like 50K months, is because, not all of that came directly from like a cash or a debit card. Some of them came from some sort of financing. So, he will sell a $3,000, $4,000 package. The new client would have like 6 months to pay for it, but Josh will get the whole money up front, you know? Um, so that's something that I do strongly recommend, like every single one of you guys. If you guys are not using some sort of, payment option like that, like I would definitely look, into that 1,000%. That would help, tremendously, especially when it comes to those who cannot necessarily afford it. Now, yes, we are gonna have people who are gonna want it and they just have really bad credit scores. So with them, If they have like, $50 to their names, like we get that a lot too, then maybe it's not a right fit right now. But it's still important to like not forget about them, just because they might not have money right now, but in the future they can. So if you're running a promotion for 4th of July, for example, and it's like, hey, get $500 off my most popular program, and you send a text message blast, like maybe that person didn't have money back then, but now they do. And now with the discount for this promotion, they're going to want to take action on that as well. So that's another thing that Josh likes to do as well, is that, you know, he sends these like SMS blasts for some sort of, promotion, and giving some sort of, discount for those who've already, for those who's he done a transformation session, but not necessarily been able to afford the services like right there and then.